As many of us wrestling fans know, there's a difference between the worlds of professional wrestling, or in this case, sports entertainment, and the world of mixed martial arts. And TNA is trying to reenact the theory of the Big Bang and force these two completely different worlds to collide into one huge superpower. The only problem with it is the people inhabiting these two worlds don't agree with an idea like this. Last week on Impact Wrestling, TNA revealed the man behind the August 1 warning to be professional MMA legend Tito Ortiz, who coincidentally has a fight with main event Mafia member Quentin Rampage Jackson at an upcoming Bellator pay per view in November. But Bellator allowing this to happen is a huge risk that could blow up in their face and then eventually establish themselves as the number two MMA organization that will pose absolutely no threat to the UFC in any way whatsoever. Let's face it, the only reason that guys like Ortiz and Rampage are being signed is that TNA is slowly but surely dying. Now, I know that's been said numerous times before, but this time it's serious. TNA just released a good percentage of their roster, including women like Tara and Madison Rain, to guys like Matt Morgan, Doc of the Aces and Eights, and Jesse Sorensen, a guy who was promised a job by Dixie Carter after his accident at Destination X was released due to budget costs, but TNA dives right into that very same budget and redesigns the X Division title. These roster cuts are opening holes in the budget plan that money is going to two things. Number one, guys like Kurt Angle who have mega contracts with the company. And number two, guys like Rampage Jackson, Tito Ortiz, King Mo. Professional fighters who are only in TNA for the name quality. And it only gets worse for TNA from there. Not only is TNA letting go great characters on the show and investing that money back into MMA fighters, but now they have a world champion who will not draw any money for the company and has no reason to be holding that world title other than the fact that he was in the same segment as Hulk Hogan. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad Chris Sabin is champion. It's been a long time coming for him, winning every current championship in TNA, not to mention he was a TNA original. But put all that aside and look at this from a business standpoint. They took the title off of Bully Ray, a guy who in just a year and a half has made his character into one of the most interesting yet hated in the business. He seems to be the Napoleon of TNA. He befriended Hulk Hogan, married his daughter just to steal his power and use Brooke to get everything and anything he ever wanted in TNA. Bully has made himself into a major name in TNA, and all that to lose the belt to Chris Sabin. If you look at it like that, he's the Triple H of TNA. He married the boss's daughter for power, similar to Triple H marrying Stephanie in storyline, to get in direct contact with the power of the almighty Vince McMahon, who in this case is being played by Hulk Hogan. If TNA wants to make Chris Sabin's world title reign a little more believable to me, they should have put Sabin in the Mafia instead of Rampage, and in the process would have given the title a little bit more credibility and make it more interesting heading into Bound for Glory. If things continued this way, Magnus of the Main Event Mafia would win the Bound for Glory series, and it would set up Sabin versus Magnus for the TNA World title at TNA's version of WrestleMania. Bringing me back to my original point. If the goal of TNA is to make Chris Sabin into a draw, doing this would only ruin the company. And it seems that TNA's demise may just be around the corner, because right now they are in a lose-lose situation. Next week, TNA is holding their Hardcore Justice version of Impact, and it's being headlined by Chris Sabin versus Bully Ray in a steel cage for the World Heavyweight Championship, with the Mafia and the Aces and Eights banned from ringside. If Sabin walks out as champion and main events Bound for Glory, that will look awful at a business standpoint. Not only will he be unable to draw buys for the pay-per-view, but that could mean we see Bully versus Hogan for the ownership of TNA, and I don't think I'd have to mention how terrible that would be for the company. However, if Bully Ray wins the title, they risk making a guy who has potential to be a top face in Chris Sabin look bad and ruin a guy who could actually be something for years and years to come. In conclusion, if TNA wants to keep up this crap with firing real wrestlers for MMA fighters and put the world title on people who can't draw in this generation of wrestling fans, they will eventually have to give in to the pressure and burn down to the ground. Soon enough, Dixie isn't going to be able to pay those guys, and they're going to jump off the sinking ship, similar to ECW wrestlers when ECW began to crumble earlier in the 2000s. This has been TNA Talk. Hope you guys enjoyed. Perry the Entertainer, signing out. Peace.